Hi guys, today I'm going to talk a bit about layers and hopefully let you know how these can be used to present plans to people that the drawings are going to make sense to, whether that's a builder, planning officer, a client, electrical consultant, or maybe plumbing. Um, so to do this, I'm going to use a kind of finished version of our batch and even one that's had an extra story put onto it. And you should perhaps also refer to the Archicad Layers PDF, which is on the front of our course Moodle site. That's really on the front page. So what we're going to do, I'll just have a look at this building and let you see what it looks like, and you'll recognize that when I click F5, um, there's our little batch, but we've had a two-story bit put on the back. So it doesn't really matter. It's just really, I want to show you how people have used the organizer to generate views. So if I go back to the floor plan, the first thing I would suggest is that you open up the organizer because it's usually quite useful in terms of helping us understand Archicad's workflow. When you start a project, you normally start in this project map. And you can see that we can create ground floor, first floor, whatever stories we need. And there's a sea level datum, which is like a default. And you've got your sections and elevations in here, but to get more control, it's usually quite good to drag versions of these plans over to the thing called the view map, because the big difference between this project map and this column with the view map is these ones, even though there's settings down here, we don't really, these are temporary changes that you make. And to make definite changes, you're better off going into the view map, clicking the drawing that you want to change, and then you can just go settings. And we've got quite a number of things we can change. So this ground floor plan, you can go to the layer combination, which is probably the most important one, and click, and you can see there's a selection of pre-loaded ones, and depending if it was a one for a client or one for maybe a builder, you could just say plan floor. Scale, you can set that up. That determines how much detail Archicad might show on elements like windows. Entire model could do that. This pen set, don't worry, that's really for when we go to print things out. And this markers thing is, if you're going to show the window references, if you don't need them, as in our present course, you can just say no markers. But what I'll do, I'll just leave it the way this finished one is. And, if we go to a different presentation plan, you can see down here that the layer combination has changed. Reflected ceiling plan, different combination. Elevations, different combination. Section, different combination. Now, if you're wondering, what is he talking about? Different layer combinations. Well, to do that, we should probably access the layer dialog box. And if you just go Control L, hold them down, this is layers, and you basically can see all the layers that Archicad kind of assumes you may need. And it kind of thinks the design are for 3D components and documentation might be for 2D ones, but it's not a hard and fast rule. When you look at this, if there's a little wide open eye, that means that that layer is available for use in the layer combinations over here. If it's closed, it means that if I go to try and use the site boundaries, draw them, that layer called design site boundaries is turned off. Ones that we commonly use, walls, they're here. And I want you to watch what happens when I just actually click one of the combinations over here. You should see some changes occurring. So I'm going to hit plan floor, and you'll see some eyes have changed. I'll go plan floor framing. Some eyes have been opened, some have been closed. Plan presentation furniture. Changes again. Elevations, and I'll lastly do sections. The little slideshow tries to show you what that means. It's like, if you watch American football, and I don't, but apparently they have a offense team and a defense team. So one set of players goes on the pitch to do the attacking, another set of players goes on to do the defending. And it's just similar here. We've got different layers that we may use for details, elevations. And, if you don't see a layer that you like, you can create your own. But it's really important to understand what a layer is. It's like a pen or a artist's color palette. We use red or blue, and you can really only use one at one time for each tool. And also what a layer combination is, and that's where we can make visible in certain drawings the information that we think that person who will be looking at the drawing will want to see. Now, if you decide to change one of these, you just turn this little eye thing to closed or open, and then hit update. Now, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to close. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is just actually close down this organizer now because it's taking up a lot of room. I'll go to this navigator and hit the uh, view map one, and we'll just have a look at what information shows up here. So if I just hit the ground floor plan, you can see that that ground floor plan, because it has this buildings plans markers shown, I can see the window references, and I can see other information that we want to see. Let's look at the presentation plan. And you can see in here they've decided to put in some textures and zones, which, if you use them with control, can look quite well. I'm not sure these things should be in a presentation plan. In fact, I would say they shouldn't be. Reflected seating plan, they've got different view of a plan. They're all generated from the same base drawing, but depending what layers we turn on. North elevation, you can see we've got walls and roof coverings and wall coverings. And the same will go for sections. So here we've got different components that you can see, and you can see this kind of detail up around the roof, but we will not be needing this kind of stuff for the present course. So I think that's enough for now. I'll leave this video with you, and you can peruse it at your leisure along with that slideshow. Thank you.